kind of assumed that we've become more diverse and inclusive, and we talk about things more openly, and therefore that the world has changed somehow. I think what we've done is we've talked about it. We haven't necessarily put anything in place behind that, and we haven't created much action. So for me, there's a number of things we need to do. We need to seriously have conversations about early years gender stereotyping. We need to put it out in the open, and we need to start looking at how it gets played out in our primary schools, in our sporting clubs, in our playgrounds, wherever it might be. We need to actually name gender stereotyping and the impact, the long-term impact it's having on our kids. We need to create more opportunities for children to have a voice in their schooling environment. So we know that at school it's very rare that children get asked about, they don't have a huge voice in what's happening around them. They certainly don't get enough choice or have influence over those environments that they're in for long periods of time. So I think if we privilege children's voices in those environments, then, and also within that really start to work on girls' empowerment, then I think that's a really important part of the puzzle as well. I think in primary schools, boys still say girls are teachers' pets, girls are really bossy and girls are really bright, and boys somehow are the opposite. I think we need to really break that down in those early years so that we can say that girls aren't, because I think that narrative of being bossy and continues through every time they open their mouth, they kind of self-censor. So I think we need to really address that. We need to create those opportunities for voice, choice, influence and agency within their lives and within their schooling in particular. We need to look at all the ways that young people can participate. So we need to think through our civics and citizenship curriculum. What can we do to actually embed that more into all years so that kids know that democracy, they know about participation, they know about engagement, and we actually do embody their citizenship in real life. So I think that's a really critical part. We need to think about the volunteering opportunities available for young women that allows them to actually take on leadership roles. And the really big one, which I think for me, is we need to understand the impact of menstruation on participation. So when I look at periods, I think about how they stop girls playing sport, how they stop girls from going to school, how they increase the educational gap between males and females, how they stop young women from participating in work. And yet we still fail to address periods as a public policy issue. We have no menstrual wellbeing policies in our state. We have no workplace policies around menstruation, and our sporting codes still seem to think that it's something that they don't need to address. So I think if we took a kind of broad approach that had multiple actions, we could actually address the inequality and inequity in gender in South Australia.